Salutations, it's your boy D Boom for LLE Ascension, and it's Ascension time. So all this Ascension period is where I just take my cards and put them back in their little bicycle box and just really drop 30 minutes of pure knowledge. You know what I mean? As much time as I can give it to y'all. So, it's just the intro. I'm gonna dive deep with y'all on the fourth. And I'm gonna just give y'all a little gist of what we getting into, just what I would like to call the LLE Pimptro. See, I do music. The first tracks on my mixtapes is called the Pimptro, and I just give you a little intro or a taste of what you finna get here. So, off top, I just really want to stress the importance, number one, of this book. Why I chose this to really be the meat and potatoes of this whole LLE Ascension bit. See, I'm gonna just tell you how I found this book. Okay. Like I said, my journey started in 2007. Okay. I went off to college in 2005 with the Alcorn State. Like I say, Hurricane Katrina happened. I ended up getting transferred from Alcorn State to Tennessee State. Tennessee State, Nashville, Tennessee. That's where I really got into this whole spiritual journey of mine. And it all started from one question. And this one question, kind of drove me insane. It was like my introduction to the Matrix. So, in the same way, Neo, like when Morpheus was talking to Neo, he was like, it's the question that's been burning your mind, like the question that you've been wanting to ask this whole time. And he asked him, do you know what that question is? Neo said, what is the Matrix? He said, Matrix can't be, told, it can only be shown, right? So, when I was a youngin', 17, I went through this period where I wanted to be like a motherfucking Mason and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was just so infatuated with, like, Masonry, Illuminati, shit like that. Conspiracy theories, things of that sort. I always had an interest in weird shit, alternative shit, extraterrestrial shit, Matrix shit, you know what I mean? Because I always thought outside the box. So, it wasn't until I got to Nashville to where I was really free to kind of roam and seek other knowledge other than the Christian background I was getting at the crib. So like I say, I ran into this one shack right by Tennessee State. It was like on 28th and like Jefferson Avenue. This place called Mr. T's Shack, you know what I'm saying? And that's my first time I seen like holy seals. First time I've ever seen like crystals, sage, incense, relics, stuff that you could use to conjure up spells and shit like that, I was kind of fascinated by magic. I was kind of fascinated by the dark side, actually. I'm not even going to stunt. So, I ended up meeting up with a group of friends. We all kind of came together to kind of shoot the breeze, smoke, talk politics, religion, government. Shit you do in college, men, women of all shades and sizes, of colors and shit. I was a Christian, so I was like an ignorant Christian at the time. So I used to go to these little sessions and just preach. Just preach straight out the Bible, nothing other than the Bible coming at everybody's head that was in the room, because I'm a Leo, that's what we do. Until I caught myself shitting on everybody, to where I alienated myself from people that didn't want to be around me, because I was that Jesus dude that always shut people the fuck down with scriptures and stuff like that. So I got an alternative route. What got me to the alternative route was like when I found some holy seals. And from these holy seals, I started researching where these holy seals came from. They came from the book of Moses, which is a missing chapter of the book. From the book of Moses, I read the book of Enoch. From the book of Enoch, I read damn near most of the missing pieces of the Bible, which the missing books of the Bible are the rawest versions ever. I see why they took them out, because, like I say, it's complex. One thing I can respect about the Bible, they keep it short and stupid. Keep it short and simple. Keep it short and sweet. Kiss. Bible is definitely kiss. They keep it short and sweet. And you get really too broke down with shit. They ain't really getting too complex for the narrow-minded people who are tailor-made for 2 slices of an 8-slice pizza. However, I knew I needed more slices, so I started looking for text that I could really look outside of Christianity that I didn't feel too embarrassed or, you know, ashamed by, right? So, like I said, I read the Torah, I read the Quran. You know, I really studied. I spent like ages 18, 19 really studying every major religion, being propelled by this whole Masonry Illuminati shit. So once I covered most of religions and seeing that religion was tied, like religion all comes from the same point. It's just a ball of confusion once it goes past that origin. And I got into ancient teachings, you know, ancient teachings of Mount Chesdek. Once I seen the word Mount Chesdek, I just thought that word was so cold. I dove more into ancient teachings, divine text. You know, from divine text, I got into astrology. From astrology, I got into astronomy. From astronomy, I got into numerology. From numerology, you know what I'm saying, I ended up in quantum fucking physics, which has become a great hobby of mine. Quantum physics, ancient teachings, divine knowledge, interstellar travel, string theory, shits like that. Like wanting to know what's really outside of this earth. From that, hunger, wanting to know what's really outside of this rock. I always knew this was a rock, third rock from the sun, and that was it. I knew there was other planets out here. I've seen UFOs before. I grew up in Las Vegas. I've seen Area 51, son. And I've seen the planes that come up out of there. Them motherfuckers be juking. I'm from Chicago. Juking originated from Chicago. The way these lights juke in the sky, it's not a satellite. It's not a plane. It's a fucking unidentified flying object. And I've seen plenty. I've seen spirits, demons and people. Ran into like literal, like, old lady ghosts and shit. Old lady ghosts always mess with me. Like, I'll literally be walking down the street, some old lady will stop me of any shade. She could be Indian, she could be African, she could be black, white. Always stop me and give me a tidbit. Like, son, you were meant to do something special. God is always going to be watching and protecting over you. So, you know, just keep pushing because all this hard work is going to pay off. And I'll be like, damn, you know, thank you. I needed to really hear that. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I'm like, soaking it all in, because you know I'm a Leo, I love attention and shit. So by the time I like come to really speak my tidbits on whoever gave me this compliment, they'll be disappeared and gone. Real shit. It's been many times I talk to somebody, like look down, look up, they gone. Or just got done talking to them, and then I wanted to, like, real shit. When I talked to that old lady, another old lady, I was talking to her, and then I see my homie, and I'm like, yo, what up? I'm just sitting here talking to this young lady right here, and I turn around, she gone. One time somebody, this happened in college, this really made me see text. Okay, I was on campus. I was in the quad, just chilling. Some random white cat came up to me with a book. He was like, you should read this book. I'm like, where you from, homie? You know, this is a HBCU. You stick out like a green hat with an orange bill, homie. What's your angle? He just put the book in my hand and walked away. I looked at the book, looked to see where he was at. He was gone. I looked in the back of the book, and it had a barcode. It didn't have no numbers in the barcode. It had 3 numbers in that barcode, and that barcode said 666. Which is ironic because that's the number I see with my twin a lot. My twin is just engulfed in the number 666. Again, which scared me. Again, which made me alert. I didn't really accept 666 was like, you know, 6 protons, 6 neutral, 6 carbon, you know, just. It's on a whole nother level. It's not on that level. That's what Christian teaches this that level on. So I really had to get an open-minded. First thing I really had to get an open-minded frame on was the number 666. Just getting past, okay, that's not the mark of the beast. That means a whole bunch of other things other than that. You know, the cross, Christ. Upon studying other religions, I'm seeing other, you know, forms of life, other prophets and messiahs who did the same thing that my Savior did. Who don't get, you know, no type of play in church, but you don't really hear about these things. Like, I just started seeing a whole world that was around me that I didn't even know existed, but I was starting to see it slowly but surely. So in this book that has 666 on it, I should have just threw that bitch in the garbage. But it had a video CD in there. Now the book he gave me was about how like dinosaurs didn't exist and we just made that shit up to something. It was something about the Bible, something about disrespecting the Bible, disrespecting my Savior and stuff like that. And anytime somebody throw dirt at the Trinity, which is God, the Son, the Spirit, I take big offense to that. And because like I said, at the end of the day, without the Spirit, like, we don't have anything. And I just want to break down what the Trinity is real quick before I even continue. I just want to tell you what the Trinity is. You know what I'm saying? It's the Father, the Son, and the Spirit. So what the Father is the infinite. The Father is infinite in love and in volition, in spiritual thought and purpose. He is the universal upholder, the source, the divine architect, the creator of everything. Okay? The Son is infinite in wisdom and truth, in spiritual expression and interpretation. He is the universal revealer. Paradise is infinite in potential for force endowment and in capacity for energy dominance, and it is the universal stabilizer. Like Christ is the universal stabilizer. The Son is the universal stabilizer. Christ, in actuality, is really Michael, the angel in earthly form. That was Jesus' vehicle to earth, was Michael, the angel, being birthed in human form. Christ still exists in the beginning, in the end, and in the future. He's omnipresent just like God. However, he's just second in command. Now the Spirit got so many levels to it. Look, the Spirit, another name for the Spirit is called the conjoint actor. Or it could be a thought adjuster. I love what thought adjusters is. I'm going to break down what a thought adjuster is on the next topic. Thought adjusters, oh my God, like they're in each and every single human being. It's the spirit that's tied to God, our spirit, our soul, our essence. It ain't nothing but a piece of God. That's why we're in him and he's in us at all times. You know what I'm saying? And the conjoint actor or the spirit possesses a unique prerogatives of synthesis. Infinite capacity to coordinate all existing universe energies, all actual universe spirits, and all real universe intellects. This third source, the Spirit, is the center and is the most universal unifier of all three. Like I said, God is the creator, the Son is the Spirit. I mean, the Son is second in command, but the Spirit is in all of us. Everybody don't know who God is. Everybody don't know who Jesus is, obviously, because they serve on the other team and involved in other madness. However, the Spirit, which is God in all of us, is in all of us. That's one thing that doesn't change. You can be an atheist all day, but the Spirit is still going to live in you. You ain't got to mess with Christianity. You ain't even got to mess with no type of text. You could be a renegade, atheist, cannibal your whole life. But at the end of the day, you do have God in you while you're doing what you're doing out here. Keep that in mind. The third source and center is the universal unifier of the manifold energies and diverse creations which have appeared in the consequence of the divine plan and the eternal purpose of the universal Father. Everything happens for a reason. Everything has a plan. Everything is in chain of command. So when you really look at this book and really break down that this whole universe was built off a Trinity. It was built off a three-part system. As if everything, like, the universe is one big, huge machine that God created perfectly. If you looked at the machine, if the machine could be put in human form, it'll look like a giant mess. But in reality, it's organized to the T. Once again, forget our bodies for a second. We're not even going to talk about human beings. We're not even going to talk about Earth for a second. We're just going to talk about how even Earth even got here. See, what you got to understand is this universe is made up of 7 super universes, okay? And there's 7 super universes. So there's 7 super universes, and in every super universe there's a major sector. And for every major sector there's a minor sector. And for every minor sector it's a local universe. And for every local universe it's constellations. For every constellation it's a local system like ours. And for every local system it's an inhabitable planet. That's how the universe is structured. So for every In these 7 super universes, 7 of them, remember, and that's a holy divine number too. In these 7 super universes, there are 70 sectors within these 7 super universes. There are 7,000 sectors within those 70 sectors in those 7 universes. There are 700,000 local universes, you know what I'm saying? Within those minor sectors, within those major sectors, that's in these super universes. There are 70 million constellations within the 70,000 local universes, within the 7,000 major sectors, within the 70 minor sectors, within the 70 major sectors in these 7 super universes. There are 7, what is this, trillion? No, 7 billion local systems, and there's 7 trillion inhabited planets. So if there's 7 trillion inhabited planets, that means there's 7 billion local systems, which means it's 70 million constellations, 700,000 local universes, 7,000 minor sectors, 70 major sectors, 7 super universes. All of this space, all of these planets, all of these universes have to be governed by someone. They're governed by God, who's in the beginning of time and at the end of time at the same time. But however, God is a good God, meaning, you know, he puts on, you know, God gives people jobs, hierarchy. Most of these are celestial beings. They could be angels. They could be celestial beings. Celestial beings can vary from angels, just like you got like midway creatures that we're going to discuss too. Midway creatures are like the fallen angels who hit on earth, who are still around since the beginning of time when they first fell. Even when you see how the structure is, like I said, everything is governed. That's where Lucifer bitch ass come in, because he was a bright morning star. And I'm gonna see if I can, like I say, I'm just doing intros. I'm just giving you a gist. I ain't really gonna break down too much. I just want to show you a few things just to get you the gist of hierarchy. So, you know, it's hierarchy. So let me just explain the hierarchy real quick. See, it's a lot of information. I'm trying to go through it. Is the best part of I can possibly do. So there's levels to this whole hierarchy thing, and I'm gonna just name off roles that other beings have that are very important. Now, you have people like, okay, the universal Father, which is God. You got the universal Spirit, which is the Spirit. You got the eternal Son, which is, you know, the Christ consciousness. You have the 7 master spirits. You have who govern the 7 super universes. You have 7 supreme spirit groups, the supreme Trinity personalities. These are all people in squads and stuff. The coordinates Trinity origin beings, the paradise sons of God, the paradise creator sons, the trinitized sons of God, the solitary messengers, higher personalities of infinite spirit, the messenger host of space, ministering spirits of the central universe, ministry of the primary super Nephilim, ministering spirits of the super universes, the universal power directors, personalities of the grand universe, the corpse of finality. That shit sound cold as hell. The corpse of finality. Like, these sound like real deal raw squads, even like Adam and Eve. Real people. You know what I'm saying? Everything has hierarchy. Everything has hierarchy. From the Melchizedek teachers to, like I said, you got people like Satan, who was a bright morning star. I'm trying to look for the hierarchy of these beings, because it's kind of dope when you want to look at it. So let me see if I can find it real quickly. If I can find it, if not, I'm gonna keep it moving. So no, close. All right, so yo, it's so many rows in here. I'm just tweaking. Yeah, it'd be all day trying to figure out those. But I'm going to go to the major point I was going to make today as far as where we're going to start, which is like the true story of where Urantia basically starts. So, like, trying to find the beginning of this chapter. So, like, for example, inhabited worlds. In inhabited worlds in Urantia, well, Urantia is an inhabited world. It's basically Earth. Urantia is Earth. So there's many types of different inhabited worlds. You have, for example, atmospheric type worlds, like Earth. This is an atmospheric type world, meaning if we wasn't the third planet from the sun, if we wasn't sitting in the right plane for biological life to form in a way that it's formed with us, we wouldn't be around. If Earth was where Venus at, we wouldn't exist. If Earth was where Mars was at, we couldn't exist. Since we were in the right spot at the right time, it created an awesome atmosphere for us to dwell in. You have other planets which are elemental type planets. For example, could be a water world where people breathe underwater. Could be a fire world where people live in molten hot magma or some shit. You know what I mean? And swim through that shit like fish or something. I don't know. You know, you have gravity type worlds to where it's like the moon. There's no gravity. You know what I mean? But people still live there, like on the moon, from what I heard. It's motherfuckers living up there. You know what I'm talking about? In the dark side of the moon. And it's like they can live where there's no atmosphere or no gravity. Those are your gravity types. Then you got temperature types. Like I said, they live on planets to where it's like, say you on one planet where one side of the planet continuously is pointing at the sun and the other one is continuously pointing at the deep space. So it's like a hot and cold planet to where the people live in the ridges where the temperatures is just right. You know what I'm saying? You got electrical types, which is like, you remember on the Matrix, them two beings, them twins, them white dreadhead twins who kind of could like blend in with anything. They kind of like turn into air and can disperse in any type of ways. You got beings like that. Like I said, you got beings with two brains. We have two brains. This isn't one brain we have. It's two brains. It's the left side and the right side. It's apparently we got a two-sided brain from how vision goes. It's crisscrossed, reflective, and all that shit. We got two brains. We're not a one brain species. We're a binary brain species. Just like some planets are binary stars, meaning it's two planets that's rotating together. They're a binary star. And if they weren't a binary star, it wouldn't be appropriate for the life that's on there. But however, if one star flies away, that world is going to die, or one world is going to die. Like, it just, it's like I say, it's just levels to it. There's levels to this. You know what I'm saying? And every planet has like planetary epochs. Every planet has mortals on it. You got mortals, and then you got like the sub-mortals who live on there. Like, for example, on our Earth, we have mortals, us, who live here. We have midway creatures who live here. These are like your fallen angels, your demi-gods, like, you know, Hercules, Zeus and shit, who used to be around, who probably ain't around no more, who probably still around. They just got with the times. You feel what I'm saying? You do have other beings here. You got spiritual, ghostly beings from another dimension that dwell among us. You have fairies that dwell among us, from Tinkerbell-looking fairies to ogres. Even the Titans, big giant Titans. I remember when I was living in Nashville, Tennessee, they told me like it was like Tennessee and Kentucky has one of the biggest cave systems in the northern hemisphere, and it's located there. You feel me? So Tennessee Titans, you know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be Titans buried under Nashville, from what I heard. Some Masonic folklore down there that talks about it. Nashville is a very Masonic place too. So is DC. I lived in both of them places. But DC scared the shit out of me with all the symbology and the stuff that's going on. And that small ass little titty. That's a small titty town right there. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know everybody, and it's the epicenter of everything. Careful with these secret societies, you feel me? Because this really the knowledge they be dropping the shit out of this, but I believe anything in secret society, you know, you can learn from your damn self. At any rate, wrapping this up, where I'm going to start. Well, I'm going to start us on the 4th. We're going to get to the first stage of Earth. Really, at this point, which was 1 trillion years ago, is the actual date and actual beginning of Urantia history. The planet had attained approximately its present size. Excuse me. It says the planet had attained approximately its present size, and about this time, it was placed upon the physical registries of Nebanon and given its name Urantia. 1 trillion years ago, Earth got its name, but it's not Earth, it's Urantia. So, I'm trying to find something so I can really break down, give you some understanding on that there. So, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to get like the... Alright, so... Okay. This is what I was looking for. It was on the same page I had highlighted. Alright, so... The Earth's crust was stabilizing at this point too. See, this is before life. Before like single cell bacteria was even on Earth. See, the reason why Earth was chosen because it was great. It was like the perfect place for life to begin. But life still had to begin on Earth. So, Earth is located in Lebanon. Lebanon is our local system. Like I say, you know, for every... I gotta go back to this thing. For every local system, it's a constellation. For every constellation, it's a local universe. For every local universe, it's a minor sector. Local universes aren't like our universe, where it's just the planets and the sun. Hell no. That's just where our planet. That's just where our planet resides. That isn't even a system. It's hella planets near us that are in our system that we're not even aware of. You know, Andromeda is our closest neighboring galaxy. It's life in our own galaxy, in the Milky Way galaxy. We ain't even discovered yet, but we have. But, you know, they ain't gonna tell us. But at any rate, Urantia is Earth's name. You know, Nebanon is the local system where Earth is registered to. And Earth, since it became a registered inhabited, well, it wasn't habitable yet, but a registered planet, it was assigned to the system of Satania for planetary administration and was placed on the life registry of Norlatiadek. Like, I'm not making up these words. Like, look at these words. Like, shut up. Make sure you can see it. Yeah, you probably can't see it. But look. Satania, that's where Satan comes from. S-A-T-A-N. Satan. Satan comes from Satania. He's the one that runs Satania. Satan, Lucifer, and the devil are 3 different people. I just told you who Satan was. Satan will be the equivalent of like Darth Sidious in Star Wars. Lucifer will be like Darth Vader, who used to be Anakin Skywalker. He used to be a good Jedi, but he ended up getting turned in by the dark side, just like Lucifer was. Lucifer used to be a good guy, but he ended up getting, you know, tempted by Satan here, which turned the good guy into a fucking idiot. Then you got the devil, who basically controls Earth. His name is Kalagastia, and he's still here. Like, he roams. He's the prince of the Earth. Like, he's the devil. He's the one that roams the Earth and does all the little bullshit, but he's invisible and he has no power anyway. But yeah, it's 3 people. The devil ain't just one entity. It's 3 people broke down in thirds. You wouldn't know unless you read this book. Satania, that's the system we're in. That's why when Lucifer got kicked out of heaven, God stopped messing with him. Not only God stopped messing with Lucifer and Satan, because Satan had a big part in the rebellion too. That's why we're isolated. God doesn't talk to anyone in Satan's planetary registry, because he's still administrator there. He's in administration. He's still doing his thing. The devil's still doing the same job he was doing when he was working for God, except he just has another agenda. He's not working for God. He's working for himself now. It ain't like God gave him this. What happened was God just removed himself from around this whack-ass rebellion space, which our planet happens to be in, which is why we can't talk to God like we used to. See, the fall of man happened before Adam and Eve even got there. So it wasn't like the devil tempted man. The devil was already beaten before he tempted Eve. And he didn't tempt Eve because that ain't even the whole true story. I told you the true story of Adam and Eve. Satan, Lucifer, and the devil are three different people. If you knew that from the beginning, it'd be dope because at least you'll know how to approach your enemy. We still think our enemy is one person. Well, he y'all enemy. He ain't my enemy. My only enemy is myself. That's why the devil has no power. God doesn't even have. God can't even affect my free will. What the fuck can the devil? How can the devil do it? You know what I mean? Anybody I need to be fearing out here is God. That's the nigga I need to be worried about. You know what I'm saying? Not all this little voodoo, kudu, negative, whatever, man. Whatever. Like, go that way with that, man. The wrath of God is something I'm more scared of than any devil. That's why I say he's a cockroach. He's a cockroach because it's a cockroach. When a roach pop up, it's like you don't even want to kill it because it's nasty. It's so nasty you don't even want to touch it. That's how you need to be thinking and treating the devil. Is something so nasty and disgusting you don't even want to kill it with your shoes because it's disgusting. Like you don't even want to go in the process of destroying that motherfucker. You're gonna let him live, being a human being, showing that little fucking respect by letting his ass go wherever the fuck he was going. But he's a cockroach, and that's how you need to treat Satan, the devil, and Lucifer, because they are bitches. On me. Now, at any rate, I'm going to say this and I'm going to finish on. I just want to give y'all a taste of what we get into. 900 million years ago, witnessed the arrival on Urantia, the first Sataniel scouting party sent from Jerusalem. Jerusalem is like Jerusalem. Like the New Jerusalem is basically old Jerusalem. Jerusalem is actually a headquarters in a planet where, like, Jerusalem would be the equivalent of like a hub, like London or New York or LA. It's just a place in space that people go to go other places. You know what I'm saying? So, it was recommended that Urantia be placed on a life experiment registry. And I'm gonna just throw out facts before I wrap it up. It's like there had to be physical life prerequisites before anybody even went to this planet Urantia to see what was going on. So it was like 600 million years ago, the commission of life carriers. Life carriers are the ones who put life on Earth. Life carriers, I mean, they have a job. I'm pretty sure their job will have to deal with putting life somewhere, right? 600 million years ago, the commission of life carriers sent out from Jerusalem arrived on Urantia and began to study the physical conditions preparatory to launching life on a world number 606 in the registry. Earth is number 606 in the planet registry system of Satania, meaning there's 606. We were the 606th planet with life on it. It's planets that's older than us, and it's planets we're older than. Fact of the matter is, these older planets, I wonder what planet number 1 is. What level they on in our same solar system. Well, not solar system, but our galaxy. In our galaxy, there's a freaking planet that's older than us that's been around millions of years before we have, who are well established. Ain't no telling what they on with us, man. Like I said, we probably the babies. We probably like the baby that the whole universe shelters. And we're isolated from God. And we're like not even evolved. So, like I said, we're at the bottom of the food chain. Ain't no telling what they really on with us on Earth. It says here that this was our 6th opportunity this was Satania's 6th opportunity to make changes and institute modifications in a basic and standard life design of this local universe. That's what made this spot of the universe so tight, because this spot is perfect for life. Can't sit here and say Earth was the only spot with life around here. Mars, I'm sure, had life on it. Venus, I'm sure, had life on it. Millions of years ago, before they became a relic of what we're going to be in the future. Because like I say, Earth around, it's full of life and shit, but we going to end up like Mars eventually. So we're going to have to colonize new space or send our spores out in space. A spaceship full of sperm. so we can give our DNA to other people though. But I just wanna spit something. I'm just wanna read something, and I'm gonna just end it because I can go all day with this. Just giving you a taste. I'm gonna just read this. This is how Earth was pre-established. It says Satania life carriers had projected a sodium chloride pattern of life. Therefore, no steps could be taken towards planting it until the ocean waters had become sufficiently briny. The Urantia type of protoplasm can function only in a suitable salt solution. All ancestral life, whether vegetable or animal, all evolve in a salt solution habitat. This is the same essential salt solution circulation throughout our bodies that's in our own bloodstream, which freely bathes, literally submerges every tiny living cell comes from this briny deep. Our body operates the way life formed on this planet. Life started in the briny deep. Don't you find it weird when you taste your tears, it's salty? Salt plays a big part in human development. That's why it's bad for you to overconsume. It'll kind of fuck up your holiness you got going on. Life started in the briny deep, in the briny seas. Protoplasm of life. Who knows what that protoplasm could have been? It could have been a ball of goop. Could have been a literal laser of DNA imprinted into the earth. But from this protoplasm of life that the life carriers put on Urantia, it went from protoplasm to single cell bacteria. Single cell bacteria to multi-cell bacteria or multi-cell organisms. Multi-cell organisms to invertebrate fish. Invertebrate fish and crustaceans, excuse me. Crustaceans to invertebrates, which are crustaceans. Then invertebrates to vertebrates. Vertebrate crustaceans and fish and stuff like that. From vertebrate fish to amphibians. From amphibians, tadpole, frogs, water environment. I mean, if you sploot some splurge and shit and take a look at a trillion sperm shooting, they look like tadpoles. You got to thank God for the frog, because if it wasn't for the frog, we wouldn't have the mammal. See, we're at the amphibian. It had to go from the fish to the amphibian. Who brought it from the fish to the amphibian? The frog was the missing link for us to get the fuck up out of water to on land. The whole tadpole shit came from the frog. Gills, lungs, breathing, that shit came from the frog. So I like to do it froggy style, you know what I'm saying? Because that's the granddaddy to doggy style. You feel what I'm saying? Without a frog, you wouldn't have a dog. Because from the frog, we got from amphibians. From amphibians, we got to mammals. It was during the whole dinosaur reptilian mammal switch. You got to understand, the world was populated and dominated by dinosaurs. But God had intervened to get them out the way so we can be here. It's a reason why birds are kind of like fucking dinosaurs, because they really morphed from dinosaurs to mammals, like reptile to mammals. So thank the dinosaur, because without the dinosaur, we slick really wouldn't get to mammals. Now let's look at mammals. Without the mammal, you wouldn't have the lemur. The lemur is the missing link between mammals and primates. Without the lemur, you wouldn't have a primate. Lemurs were the first mammals with opposable thumbs. Lemurs were the first mammals that could stand upright, use tools, communicate, live in harmony, live in packs and shit, do shit in packs, hunt in packs on a mammalian type thing, okay? And from the lemur, it gave birth to the primate. And from the primate, gave birth to early humans. And if you really read, I did an Adam and Eve breakdown, and I did a Adana and Fanta breakdown, which were the two pre-humans before Adam and Eve. Meaning, this is that, like I already said, it's in my video files. Check my video files. It's called Adnan and Fante. The Adnan and Fante rant. These were like the Adam and Eve before Adam and Eve. You know, these were primates. They used to be primates, but they branched off from primates. They were superior genes. See, that's what make primates primates and human beings human beings. whoever were the first primates that split from these monkeys and shit, they stopped procreating amongst themselves. You know, they only procreated amongst superior gene primates. That's why these primates became human form. They built homes in trees instead of living on the ground and throwing feces at each other. They stayed together, built a whole community, and worked among each other. From being a community, they became a human race. God, the thought adjuster, going back to that thought adjuster, the spirit that goes in your brain. Adnan and Fonte were the first people to have God's spirit in their brain. Once their brain got awakened, that's at that moment when they started separating, these primates started separating themselves from these other monkeys and shit to build for the future. If they didn't do what they did, we wouldn't be here. God synced that. Soon they started thinking and having emotions for each other, holding each other down, saving each other, feeding each other, loving each other. That's where love came out, from our animalistic, primal way of existence to a higher quality way of existing. These are fucking primates loving each other, taking care of each other, protecting each other, looking out for each other, feeding each other, helping each other. What the fuck human beings can't even do, and they was doing that shit before religion and anything else. All this book is your history. This is the history of Earth. You gotta know your history before we can even dive deep with Jesus, G. We're gonna have to understand how the Earth even got here. Not only how the Earth got here, but who runs the Earth. There's order around here. There's hierarchy in the heavens. High is not going to be hierarchy on Earth. Unfortunately, this is the devil's playground. It's his fucking turf. So he got a whole squad that's here that we need to be aware of. But never fear them. Never fear them. We're human beings. We got more power than them fucks. You know what I'm saying? This is just a history lesson. July 4th, I'm really going to actually crack this off and actually, like I did this to see how this is going to go down too. I'm going to definitely come out the book. I'm going to do some Bible study shit, and I'm going to really come at preaching mode with y'all. But I had to drop these little tidbits so you can at least see where we're going to go with this. Before we even get to Jesus, G, before we even get to the hierarchy on angels, we need to understand how Earth got here. Once you understand how we got here as human beings, then you can understand us as human beings. Cannot know where you're going unless you know where you've been, and I'm going to take us to the very beginning. This is the message. Stay tuned. D-Boom. Holla.